Runaway rhyme scheme, screwdriving the ignition of a 94 tempo high ride to be. Punched out the quarter light. It went from kinda sorta to now that nigga really nice. I write glaciers and icebergs, set him adrift under aurora borealis. Death violence, death violence, death violence, drugs, sex, violence, death. Your album a pack of cigarettes, no wonder it's doing numbers. Illegal tints on the whip, I'm trying to see something.
Since it began, the League of Ireland always needed a Moses, someone to take the league to the promised land, not of milk and honey, or stolen land, but of consistent television deals, improved facilities and growing academies. Damien Duff is proving to be our Moses, not fearing the ones that stand above him in the Irish footballing hierarchy in order to set his people free. Nobody came before Moses, but potential saviours came before Duffer, but some of them lacked the star power, credibility and had possible ulterior motives that hindered their drive to push the League of Ireland forward. Yet no man is an island. Moses needed the burning bush to guide him. Who was Duffer's burning bush? Jose Mourinho. Mourinho and Duff first met at Chelsea after Jose moved from Porto. The pair stayed together for 2 seasons before Duff moved to Newcastle in 2006. Although they were not together for long, it's clear that Jose had a profound impact on Duff. The parallels between their career are very striking. As Mourinho was not a high-profile name within Portuguese football due to the fact he never played at a high level, he began his career at the youth football level, caught fire and took a role with Sporting in an attempt to spread his wings. Mourinho got his first break in elite level football as Bobby Robson's translator at Sporting, but Bobby soon realised that this young Portuguese lad knew a thing or two about football. Then Robson moved to Porto, then Barcelona, and Jose was following behind every time. Once Robson departed from Barcelona, Mourinho starts to learn the trade from Louis van Gaal. Jose then goes to Benfica in what would be his first crack as a first-team manager. Mourinho is critical of the bigwigs due to them retaining the right to select his assistant manager. This inevitably gets him sacked. He then winds up at Porto as first-team manager with a layover at União de Leiria. Sorry if I fucking butchered that. And well, yeah, you know the rest of the story from there on in. The beginning of Duff's career is nowhere near as glamorous, but there's certainly a theme of
you see artisan dialogue.
Duff left Shamrock Rovers as he wanted to spread his wings and not just be restricted to youth football.
I've seen this one, this is a classic.
After leaving Celtic, Duff then transitioned into working as assistant manager with Stephen Kenny in the Republic of Ireland setup, while simultaneously coaching in the Shells Academy. In 2021, Ian Morris left his role as Shelbourne manager and then Duff became his successor, and over 1,000 days later, this happened.
Here is Sean Boyd, into the wall, deflected, Mark saves it in! Shelbourne find the goal! Harry Wood, the jersey's off!
Now this is a good jumping off point to draw some comparisons between Duff and Mourinho and the relationship that they currently have. So after Shells win the cup at the Brandywell, who's the first person that we know of Duff calls? Jose. After the title celebrations, it came out that Duff had utilised his connections to Jose to ask him to send an inspirational video to his players before their title deciding match at the Brandywell. Okay, this is not TIFO. My knowledge of football tactics is incredibly fucking basic, and this is just my opinion. But in my eyes, Duff and Jose implement very similar tactics to each other. It's a refurbished form of Catenaccio, although it is certainly more nuanced than that. Look at this clip.
Barrett goes long. Moylan against Chris again, and Moylan won the ball but found his way to Coffey. Bulger now, and Jack Moylan's away.
He has to score.
Jack Moylan gets the keeper, puts it in. It's 2-0 to Shelbourne.
Both managers want rabid physical defenders who can snuff out attacks, then fire the ball up the pitch to massive strikers who can then release rapid wingers, with the end goal being to expose teams that have pressed their teams high. The only snag with this tactic is that once it's found out, it's very hard to row back from, as you need very certain players to implement this tactic. It's a dying art thanks to these lads here. It also makes sense why Shelbourne haven't been doing that well this season and why Jose is posted up in Turkey with Fenerbahce. Jose was a firm believer in tough love, delivering honest truths regardless of how hard they hit home. Case in point, Joe Cole at Chelsea. Mourinho was displeased with the amount of times Cole would lose the ball and had no issues publicly criticising him. Duff does the exact same thing. Shane Farrell, an individual who didn't have the best work ethic in the eyes of Duff, but he was a cult hero at Talker Park due to his ability to cut defences to pieces with his pace and fantastic close control. After Farrell was sent off for 2 bookable offences against Shamrock Rovers, Duff went on the record saying, "You don't live right, you don't train right, you're a yard off and then you're late in the tackle. It's not rocket science to me." He also said he enjoys one too many chicken fillet rolls, which, albeit funny, didn't really add anything to it. It just emphasises the point that maybe his work ethic was off. I saw a post on the biggest fucking cesspool known to man the other day of someone claiming that Duff was just as vain as the likes of Nathan Jones, fucking remember him, and Jason Tyndall. But by tweeting this individual is basically just fucking stamped "missed the point" on their forehead. The reason why these coaches and managers are so vain, as our friend would coin it, is that the fact them saying these things takes the heat off their players and puts it firmly on the manager or whoever they have in their sights. Worth noting that Jones is just a bit of a mug and Jason Tunnell is actually a fucking prick and vain. Players do go on social media, they read the newspaper and see criticism of their performances, which does have a psychological effect on their performances. If someone consistently shat on me at work, I know I would begin to question myself. Enter the manager, who comes out with something explosive after the match where their team didn't perform. As a result, this takes up so much oxygen and the performance itself is nearly forgotten about, and the explosive comment will be spread across social media and the back pages. Harry Redknapp did it, Phil Brown did it, and Jose Mourinho is the fucking master of this. Just watch this clip.
So you believe that was a clear-cut penalty?
I don't believe it's a penalty. I watch on the screen 2 and 3 times, and it's a clear penalty. The same way is a clear free kick against West Bromwich when they scored the second goal. So I have the reason to be very upset with the referee's work, which I believe is a great referee, and I keep thinking the same. I thought before the game, I think after the game, he's one of the best referees, not just in the country, but also in European football. But he had a very unhappy game today.
His Chelsea side just drew to West Brom, which is not a great look, but deflecting all of the light off his team and onto West Brom's controversial goal shifts all of the attention onto that. Duff does the exact same thing. Look at this photo. You know where it was taken, you know the scoreline of that match, but what was all over your social media that night? Not posts about Chelsea being shite in that match, but this photo and how funny it was. Duff then did something very interesting once the picture caught fire. He used it as a vehicle to express his disdain for the League of Ireland and how it was mortifying for them. The man essentially used his own virality as a stick to beat the League of Ireland with. It's ingenious stuff. Both of these men are master manipulators of the media. And ultimately, if you don't buy what I'm selling, just look at these quotes here. So, who gives a fuck? Ultimately, having a child of Mourinho's mind representing a club in the League of Ireland has breathed new life into the league. Dundalk and Shamrock Rovers' respective European campaigns in the 2010s bought space in the papers, but it didn't really draw eyes to it. What really does is controversy. People fucking love controversy. Why do you think shows like Big Brother and Love Island are still running? Cast your mind back to when Mourinho first rocked up to England. He was fucking everywhere. You couldn't have a discussion about football at the time without mentioning the special one. Even though he never actually said that, he said, "I am a special one." Irregardless of that, he had cross-cultural appeal since he was a larger-than-life character. You know who else is a larger-than-life character and has cross-cultural appeal? My uncle, who's a devout Westmeath fan, Jesus, what a fucking grim existence. He has no interest in football, but when Duff didn't shake hands with Stephen Bradley, he was blowing up my phone over something quite minor when compared to moments like these. Bigger clubs in the UK have taken note of Duff, but let us hope before the money is too much to turn down, he can deliver us to where the League of Ireland well and truly belongs.